As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody, for whoever wants to listen. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Troubleshooter Magooter. What's up, dude?
You want to give people the backstory on that one?
Yes, and I wish that I
Remember
had
the
my
name.
phone because one of our listeners sent us that. Shooter, look it up. Let's give this person credit because I've never used this one, and it seems like a layup, but it's not because this is the first time I've heard it. Shoots, can you read that name for me?
That would be Emma under the handle of Hey Heel.
Hey Heel.
Hey Heel.
She said that she solved the problem, and she said to herself, Troubleshooter Magooter. So you've been influenced by the Magoots, and I wanted to give you credit for that one. It made me laugh, so nice job there. In other news, we are here to talk about Summer House Martha's Vineyard, which continues to be a fantastic show. If you're listening to this and do not watch it, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Like, do you have other things to do?
Well, they're listening to us talk about it.
I appreciate that.
I think you would probably like to have the context of what we're talking about. You might think that.
You would think. But if you're not watching it, do yourselves a favor. Go watch Summer House Martha's Vineyard, especially season 1 was great. Get caught up with season 2. Like I said, we're only trying to help you out.
We're just trying to help out. And it is DC week.
Oh, shit.
Which is pretty funny. So we put up a graphic
Yeah,
of our show, and we chose the Washington Monument.
we did.
Just the tip of it.
It's not. It's the entire thing. But yeah, if you noticed the different logo for this episode, yeah, we like to get a little fun with it during
Why
the
not?
week. Yeah, you got to mix it up, and I don't know. But in other
What are we
news,
going to do for Boston?
oh, Fenway?
I think, yeah, probably Fenway. I was thinking maybe we do like the old photo, or probably like a painting of the Boston Tea Party. Would be fun.
And like me and you throwing tea into the harbor.
That would be sick if we could do that. Anybody knows any good Photoshoppers out there? That would be awesome.
If you want to AI some photos of me and Shooter throwing tea into the Boston Harbor, that would be really funny.
That would be incredible. But I did find my outfit.
You did?
I'm all set.
What are we going? Just give me. I know you're not going to like dive.
I'm not going to tell you anything.
I just want the vibe.
Spring?
Okay. Is it spring?
I had to ask because I was honest. I was truly just lost. I didn't know and you're probably right there.
No, I got mine too. Mine's
figured it
very
out?
simple. Yeah.
Yeah,
I went
very
simple because like I like to go wacky sometimes, but I wanted to go simple and just on the brand.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've been inundated with moving processes and things like that, and this snuck up on me. So I had no idea what I was going to wear, so I had to ask for help.
Sometimes
you just need to ask for help.
Important to ask for help.
Yep.
Okay. I wish that we had like a lead into like an ad here. We don't. But the last thing we need to talk about, and let's just also, it being DC week, our show is this Friday, May 3rd, down in DC at Union Stage. So make sure you go get your tickets if you haven't yet. We are getting close to the deadline. So we already have a pretty packed house. So we're super excited for that. But there are more tickets available. So go to the link in our bio, get your tickets, come hang out with us. Candace Dillard, Chris Bassett, and the one and only Ryan Bailey from So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. Last order of business before we talk about this. How do we feel about the game tonight? I'm not going to say the name. I just want to know how you're feeling about the game tonight.
I feel that we're no longer going to have to endure second round exit jokes because we're out in the first round.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Just end it.
That's what I feel like. Just put us out of our misery. I don't want that very typical Sixers. We're going to win one in dominating fashion up in New York, and then it's going to be an absolute heartbreak at home on Thursday or Friday, whenever Game 6 is. Yeah.
Oh, Game 6.
We're only at Game 5 right now.
I know we're at Game 5.
That's how shitty it is.
You know what I think is going to happen? It's going to go to Game 7, and then we're going to get smoked in Game 7.
Yeah, it's not even going to be a fun game.
No, that's what I'm predicting. But, I mean, time will tell. That game's tonight, so wish us luck. We're not hopeful.
You're listening to this right now. We're probably just moving on to the Phillies.
Yeah, go Phils. But let's get into Summer House Martha's Vineyard. And we start out, and I think this is an important preface, and I'm glad I wrote it down, because I think this is the root of everything that happens in this episode for the most part. But Summer's talking about her Nana. Her Nana just had surgery, so she's very concerned about her. Sounds like she came through surgery well, so she's on the mend, which is amazing. So all happy thoughts there. But
Right.
we learn more about Summer's Nana, who actually ended up raising her because her mom, she divulges, was an addict, wasn't around as much, so she ended up losing custody of her. She went to live with her Nana. Her father has been MIA from the jump, I believe.
But she thought that her mom had told her who her dad was.
One guy.
And then the one guy said, "No, I'm not."
There's no way.
So then it's apparently some one-night stand from a while ago. So it's just a lost cause at this point.
Yeah, so now she's trying to, I don't know, the way that she was talking about was that she's actually trying to either figure out who her dad is or is potentially making contact with her father.
Right.
I'm not sure, so I don't know if we'll get more of that, but the point being, she has a lot of things going on personally, and she's trying to deal with that. She says that she has trouble asking for help because of her abandonment issue. She tries to deal with everything on her own. And you could argue that this is the grounds for kind of all of her fights in the house. When she seems to ramp up out of nowhere, maybe this is the root of it all. And I think that you see that very clearly as this episode goes on. But this is couples weekend. We're getting all the couples coming into the house.
Aren't we all excited, Amir?
Amir will get there.
Well, I'm just referring to him running over to Preston and giving a big hug and saying,
Couples weekend, we're going to have
Couples
fun.
weekend, we're really excited about Couples weekend. Right, guys? Everybody? We good?
We are going to have fun, right, guys?
God.
This seems like you're setting it up because you're nervous.
Very nervous.
Why are you nervous? We find out why you're nervous.
Yep.
But why are you nervous?
God.
Like, here's the thing. If you look at Preston, he's just happy. He knows that Donald's coming soon,
Yep.
that he gets to hang out with his man. If you look at Bria, and her and Simon's relationship is insane. And even Bria's like, I'm just excited for Simon to be here. You don't have to like gauge the temperature of the house. Like, you guys good? We're excited. I'm excited. You're excited too. That is a red flag.
Yeah, not only that, but Amir posted this week on Instagram, and it was a story of him, I guess, like at a gym doing the vertical workout, like trying to jump up and touch the. You see it at the combine.
Yeah, this is like the high jump.
The high, yeah.
Or what is that? What's the test? I used
It's a
to have to do
vertical. It's a vertical jump.
that. I used to have to do that for baseball.
Yeah.
By the way, not my best event.
No, I imagine not. Yeah, that's not. That doesn't really apply to catchers in baseball.
It doesn't.
Well, maybe at the high fastball, but yeah, he posted that and said, "This is y'all jumping to conclusions about my relationship."
That's what he said.
We're not jumping to any conclusions.
We don't
We're
have
just
to.
seeing what we see and then talking about it.
You're presenting us with information that is
Yeah.
pretty clear cut.
And by the way, you're not doing yourself any favors.
No, just shush. Just shush.
Yep.
Let it play out. But we learned that Mariah is coming, and we knew that was going to happen, but we get like a whole recap of why she got the boot from the house last year. I forgot, honestly. I knew that like the end all be all was that she put hands on Bria, and that was the last straw. They kicked her out on night one. Same with Phil going around taking poops in everybody's bathrooms and being a total asshole to everyone. That's why he got the boot. I forgot that it all started because somebody put Milo's clothes or Milo's laundry in with hers.
Yep.
And she lost her fucking mind.
Because she's allergic to dogs.
It doesn't matter. You just say, hey, like in that situation, we're all new here.
Yeah,
I know the drill.
The thing is, the funny thing that came out of this was that it was Amir who did that.
I know.
Threw it in there and then just never spoke up about it.
I wouldn't either.
Well, yeah, in that moment, the whole funny thing after that is obviously Mariah watched last season, so she knows that Amir did that.
Mhm.
And Amir just never admitted to it and just didn't talk about it. So he kind of threw her under the bus there. Obviously, don't make that big of a deal out of it.
It's not that big of a
You
deal.
know, like just rewash your clothes maybe.
Rewash
Should
your
work.
clothes and then say, hey, I'm allergic to dogs. Please don't do that.
Yep.
He doesn't know. You all just moved into the house. I think it's.
Well, I think if we really want to break down the whole laundry gate thing,
I love Laundrygate.
why is Bria putting Milo's clothes in with everything else?
I
That
agree
is a
with
dog's
that.
clothes. You wash that alone.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed. I'm not defending the washing of the dog's clothes with the regular clothes. I just don't agree with how it was handled. And then seemingly a year later, we're still in Laundrygate.
Yep.
It has not been solved yet.
Nope.
That's funny. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
But it's funny. Simon arrives in, of course, he walks in wearing a flamingo pajama set. I
Yeah.
don't even think that was pajamas. I think that
It was
an
not
outfit.
pajamas. I think that's a full outfit.
That's
It
crazy.
was not only that, but he said it was the theme for the weekend because he also had swim trunks that had flamingos on them.
And he announced, like, flamingo, I got other flamingo stuff. And,
What's going on there?
well, they're chit-chatting in, like, their confessional or whatever. Is that the truth booth? Whatever it is.
I think that was the truth booth, yeah.
The truth booth has not lived up to the
It
hype.
hasn't done shit. I completely forgot about it until just now.
Yeah,
I just
it's a-
assumed it was the confessional because I didn't really care. And then, yeah, it's the truth booth.
We've got no truths in the truth booth. We need more Truth Booth. But I thought it was really funny that Bria's like, I just miss him so much. I'm so glad he's here. Like, it's just hard to talk all the time because we're both so busy. Like, you just ignore me all the time. I text you, I call you, say, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I can't do it tonight. Like, I love Simon so much. He seems like a character.
He's definitely a character. He's definitely a really weird dude. Obviously walking in with that flamingo set, but definitely a character.
At least he's himself.
And at least he gets like something out of Bria because she's just kind of a dud otherwise. So at least when she's there or when he's there, she talks a little bit more.
I think it's great. There's something about those two and something about Simon in general that I'm enamored with it. But they start talking about Phil and he's on the island. So they're saying like, hey, can Phil come? Mariah's coming. Is it okay? Donald says at this point, like our beef is squashed for the most part. Like you can invite him. I'm not going to invite him, but I have no issue with it. We find out that Donald and Preston are moving in together as well. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is the wallpaper discussion.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about wallpaper?
I think I heard that it's making a comeback. I'm not a huge fan of it.
Wallpaper, you don't like my bathroom?
In the bathroom is fine.
Yeah.
I was actually just about to say that. Bathroom wallpaper, perfect. House wallpaper, no.
What about an accent wall with wallpaper?
No.
I disagree. I think that you're selling it short. I think that if you do wallpaper right, it looks really good.
I don't know.
It's making a big comeback.
It is making a huge comeback. I don't think I'm ready for it, though. I don't own a house, though, so what the fuck do I care?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But being open to the idea. Wallpapers, hey, I wasn't a believer until Dev was like, I want to put wallpaper in the bathroom. I put it up. By the way, peel and stick wallpaper, fucking nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
I can imagine.
Got it up, looks great.
How do you get the bubbles out?
Dude, you got to start.
Squeegee?
You start from the bottom. You just work your way up with like a paint scraper, like a plastic paint scraper. You go up the wall. If it bubbles, you got to pull it down and like go back from where you were. When I tell you, the problem's not. This is what you all want to hear, right? Home improvement with the Bravo Bros. The problem's not with like a good, like if it's a flat area, you just got to go straight up without any cuts. It's actually not that bad. It's when you have to match up the sides, and when you get like a corner where you got to cut it because it doesn't fit all the way, that's when you run into problems. Okay, let me just tell you, if you're going to do it, it's also a solo project. Don't
get anybody else involved.
You're
going to end your marriage.
Significant other involved. Yeah. And Dev's awesome about that stuff. Like if we have a project and she's like, can you go do this? I'm like, yes, I'll go handle this. Because I get a little flustered during it.
You do?
It's shocking, I know.
Wow.
But I get it done. I do it well. And she also is cool enough to be like, all right, go do your thing. And it gets done.
That's good. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So just PSA, if you're going to put up Steal and Pick wallpaper, that's my new company.
Yep. Steal and Pick.
Steal and Pick wallpaper.
Uh-huh. Neither word is right.
Nope. But anyway, let's move on. And Simon says that he needs Phil to come because he wants some lobster. He just needs some lobster.
Lobster.
Mm-hmm. I wrote lobster, which is laughter, but again, he just fucking cracks me up. But this is when we finally get to meet Natalie in person. And they're driving back. I guess Amir picked her up from the ferry or wherever she got in from. She doesn't like summer. They met at the party last year, I guess. And the fact that you have to give her this like preamble on the way to the house to like prep her to not get upset about stuff is already a problem in my eyes, where you're like, remember, like summer's very touchy.
Yeah, singling out one person is wild.
Crazy.
And we don't know, we're not privy to how everything went down when they did meet last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I can already tell you what I imagine how it went is Natalie was very standoffish, very protective of Amir, probably watching his every move.
Oh, yeah.
And if he even looked in someone else's direction, they probably got into a fight that night.
Mm-hmm. So it's not looking great.
No.
It's not looking great out of the gate, so I'm already a little apprehensive as this is going to go. I'm excited to watch, but I don't know. I got anxiety for some reason, like getting ready for this.
I've been ready for it for like weeks now. I've been wanting Natalie to get up there and mix it up. And look, I mean, we've got a whole couples weekend here. We got one night of couples weekend. I hope we get a little bit more from that tomorrow. Maybe a little interaction.
There's no way that we don't. There's got to be more.
So far, every time that she talks, she puts her foot in her mouth. So
yeah, she does. So we're going to see more of that. But he also prefaces it with, if you feel anything going on, remember, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. It's like, dude, you can't even talk to the other people that you're living with without it being a problem. That's not a problem to you. That should be a problem. That's not okay. You shouldn't have to walk on eggshells because your housemates
I think that
are there.
Amir's never been in a serious relationship.
I think that he's the guy that he loves being in love so much that when he will bend and break to any will of his partner just
Yeah.
to make sure everything's copacetic.
And I feel like the girls that he's gotten in relationships with have noticed that and dumped him because
possibly.
very quickly. And now he's in this relationship for how long? A year, I guess.
Are they? Has it even
a little
been
longer than a year?
They moved in together after 2 months.
Uh-huh.
Don't do that.
Just don't do that.
That's not smart.
And it didn't sound like there were extenuating circumstances. It just sounded like you forced the hand.
What if? Let me spin zone this.
Spin it.
Okay. What if he's just playing this role, but she makes it very clear that she does very well.
Uh-huh.
What if he's looking for a sugar mama?
That's not worth it.
I'm just saying, what if that's what's going on?
A
He's
sugar
like,
mama that comes along with judging you and getting in fights with you all the time?
I'm just saying.
That takes away all the sugar.
I'm just saying.
A salt mama.
What if that's a salty mama?
Salty mama.
What if that's what he's doing? What if he's like, look, she does. I want to save it for later. I'll save it for later. We'll come back to this. But Bria FaceTimes with Phil, and he's actually with Mariah. And when I see this, I'm like, ooh, sketch, but good. Good drama.
Very good. I'm happy that he came back, but sketch.
You got the two.
For sure.
You got the two.
What was he even doing up there in the first place? Like, he was on his own, but then he went over and got Mariah? Like, we know that he was
knew they
going.
were coming to this party.
Yeah, of course we knew the entire time. Or maybe some people knew and it was just supposed to be dramatic effect or whatever. But it still played pretty well.
It played very well.
Gets everybody talking right away. Why was Phil in the car with Mariah?
I want to know, like, these two clearly were in cahoots. Like, oh, yeah, we're going to go up there together. Mariah doesn't seem like she wants to start shit when she gets there. Phil is just Phil, and we'll talk about
No, I
that.
think that both of them, going back to like them being in cahoots, they probably both watched it last year. And look, I mean, we talk about how Martha's Vineyard isn't getting as much viewership as we would like.
It's starting to do
still
better.
did well enough to get a second season.
A reunion.
It did well enough to get a reunion this year. So people do like it, and it's doing well enough that they're probably like, fuck, we missed the boat.
Yep.
And they bonded over that.
And I think they want to
And
get back in.
let's try to wiggle our way back in there.
I think that's the goal, too. But Natalie gets to the house, and the reception is cold, to say the least, to the point where she's in the room getting ready, and Amir's trying to find people to come say hi to her, and nobody wants to. Like, she's literally standing in the room, and Amir goes out to the hallway, and Jordan's walking out, and Natalie can hear him, and he goes, "Hey, Jordan, have you met Natalie yet?" And she's like, "No. Where's Noelle?" "Downstairs." She just goes straight downstairs.
Yeah. But this is the whole thing with Natalie. Natalie's standing in the room waiting for Amir to go out and bring people in to say hi to her. This is their turf.
Correct.
They don't have to do shit. They don't have to bend the knee to you. So
Absolutely.
they're getting ready in the room, which is a completely plausible reason to not run out. Like, they're already running late. They're getting ready in their bathroom. You have to go get ready. So, yeah, they're not going to come out. Give it a minute. I think it's a lot funnier that they got to the top of the stairs and bolted.
It was
We're not going to go talk to Natalie right
can
now.
come out here.
She's not here. Yeah, like if she came out with Amir and they were walking around the house talking to people, sure, you talk to her. But I'm not going to go walk into the room and be like, "Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you." You've already heard enough stories from Amir and probably from Summer and Jordan and whoever.
Oh, they met her at the party, too.
Yeah, some of them had. I don't think like Shanice had met her, or
Maybe Jordan has.
I think Bria had met her. There was a couple that definitely didn't meet her at this point. But you've heard enough stories that you're like, no, we're not fucking doing that.
She can make the effort. We don't have to make.
Not to mention, what are we going to think about Amir's balls? We're going to go in there and go say hi to her. Then all of a sudden, Amir gets completely castrated.
No, like what?
Yeah, that's what happens.
What the fuck? How?
Because there's girls in their room.
Oh, you're right. There.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
you're
was
too
missing
close
that.
to the bed that we sleep in.
Yeah, that's
Even though Amir actually doesn't sleep in this bed, we're renting this bed for the week.
Yeah, they are renting the bed for the week. But his confessional here, that's alarming because he's like, women in this house have showed interest in me, and you get like a clip of Shanice where he's like, "Oh, I saw Shanice's boobs."
I didn't care for this shit.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I also didn't see that last year.
No.
Nobody was pining for Amir last
The
year.
clip that they showed of Shanice was just that she was running to the bathroom and she was naked.
Yeah,
You happened to look out and see her naked.
that wasn't.
That's not her coming on to you.
Nobody came on to you. You were trying to flirt with Jordan all
Uh-huh.
summer, and she wasn't having it. So for you to finish this with, hopefully I can prove that I've been staying away from Jordan, like I told. So clearly Jordan's a problem for Natalie.
Right.
Just because Amir expressed interest in her the previous year.
Who isn't a problem for Natalie, though? That's the thing.
Nobody. That's the thing. And like also, it is not fair for you to hold this over Jordan's head because Amir had a thing for her last year.
Yeah.
She's done nothing wrong. In fact, she put her foot down and said, dude, fuck off last year.
Yep.
Let's not forget. So for you to vilify Jordan for simply being alive is pretty dumb.
Before you were dating.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're at. And it's only going to get worse. But we get to the cocktail party, and that's when Phil and Mariah arrive. And the characters on this show, the different people on this show, is so awesome to me because it's so funny, the different dynamics that present themselves. Because Nick is like, I go to Wimbledon. I go to the U.S. Open. I'm in Italy. I'm here. I'm there. I'm here. Phil's just another person. I don't care. And it's so funny to get all of these different people in this house. So you get so many different dynamics. But
Well, the funny thing about the guys specifically when it comes to Phil is, and Amir even says this, we're such we're such a tight, close-knit group that you do something to one of us, you're doing it to all of us. I actually don't care for that. I need more drama between the dudes. All the dudes are so close-knit and they're just kind of running together. They don't fight with each other. They don't squabble. There's no issues. You bring Phil in, all of a sudden people are a little uneasy. That's what we need. We need somebody like Phil to come in and start some shit. Because right now it's just the guys like teaming up and living in their little boy dorm downstairs. And they just don't want to have to fight with anybody.
that's what's going to happen when you put a bunch of dudes in a bunkhouse.
Yeah.
You're going to get along so you can keep the peace in the room.
For sure. Well, they're also friends outside of that, and they became closer friends after the first season.
Yeah, they all hung out.
It's too copacetic for me. I need a little bit of mix up.
Nah, I disagree. There's something
You
about...
like to watch boring stuff where the dudes are just in agreement all the time? I want them to fight.
You're right. There should be a little bit more drama, but like, here's my only issue with that premise is like, I don't want manufactured drama just by bringing in a chaotic person, because here's the thing. It's not like the original dudes in the house are then going to split because Phil's in. They're not going to get tired of Phil over
I'm not even
somebody
saying
else.
Phil specifically, just someone like Phil who clearly gets under their skin. It
Yeah.
just makes them a little uneasy, and they're just too comfortable right now with each other.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I get
'Cause
it.
the girls are still fighting. The girls are still having like issues between the two. Obviously, at the end of this episode, they're having issues amongst themselves, but the guys just aren't involved in that.
No, they're not. You're right. That's true. That's a good point. But Mariah's there, and we get like again a recap of last year, and we learn that her and Amir have exchanged some text messages. She demands a public apology for the laundry gate. Let it go. Let it go.
This is just people saw you freak the fuck out about laundry, and now you feel like it's someone else's fault.
Well, hold on. It is Amir's fault.
It is definitely Amir's fault.
It's not.
He
that,
doesn't need to issue a public apology.
It's not that deep.
We know that he did it.
It's dog laundry.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's let it go. It's funny that we're still talking about it. Usually I'd be annoyed that we're still talking about something like this. For whatever reason, this is funny to me.
It's funny because it just came back up like randomly.
Yeah, but we get to talk about real estate. And Amir is a real estate agent. He deals with the common folk. Okay. Natalie's more of the luxury dealer. I see what Amir's doing here. He's
Talking
trying to
her up.
prop his lady up.
Uh-huh.
Good for you. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is she jumps in and then puts her man down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do this. You don't have to knock him down a peg. Like, he's trying to say nice things about you, and she says the difference is his houses are under $1 million. Mine are over $2 million. What I do in a month, Amir does in a year. You just cucked your boyfriend in front of a whole party for no reason.
And he just sits there and goes, ha, yeah, babe, right?
Yeah.
You're so right, babe.
You're so right. I love you.
God, it takes me so long to do the simplest task.
Tell me you love me. Look at me when you say it. I love you too.
It's great.
It's not great.
It's funny.
It's sad.
It's sad for Amir, but if he's going to sit there and protect her and do all this shit on Instagram when the episode airs, then he's just mixed in anyway, and I don't feel bad for him.
Well, for him to say you're jumping to conclusions, it's like, dude, you watch the scene. Tell me what you see.
Yeah.
Like, we're watching you get made fun of by
And
your
also,
girl.
there's still more episodes of this weekend. Do you think it's going to get any better?
There's no way it gets
Maybe
better.
hold off on posting something on Instagram until the full weekend gets aired.
Let's get through couples weekend first.
You guys are jumping to conclusions. Next episode, Natalie's literally in a fight with every single girl in the house. Are we jumping to conclusions? You look
that
like an
true?
idiot now. I have no idea.
I hope so. God, I hope so. But
And we'll find out on Tuesday or whenever this week. Today's Tuesday. We'll find out on like Thursday or Friday when Bravo decides to release 15 minutes of footage from Sunday's episode.
on the next episode, here's the whole episode.
Here's the whole episode.
But we get Bria and Mariah. They squash all the beef. They pretty much come together and say, let's blame this on Amir. It's Amir's fault. she says, I'm allergic to dogs, so shit got ramped up. I do agree with you. I think that Mariah is now in like cleanup mode. Let me just save face a little bit and hopefully work my way back into the show. I am not against a Phil and Mariah return. Even though I said before, I don't know if that's the answer. I'm not against it. It also, like you said, that adds another layer to this house of you're going to get a little bit more uncomfortable conversations where people might, because they're not tight with the crew. Everyone else is like the originals.
Well, I'm fine with really the girls in the house because you sort of replaced Mariah with Noelle this
Noelle's
year.
great.
And Noelle's great because she's stuck between a rock and a hard place with being friends with Summer while also trying to get with the rest of the girls and be friends with them. It's kind of fun to like watch unfold. Phil, I don't necessarily need specifically Phil. I just want the guys to mix it up a little bit more. The girls are fine. I would leave them alone.
I agree with that. I'm just saying I'm not against. Can you bring them back in a friend of capacity where they're there for like a week?
Just half the time.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Know. They're going to have to figure out the structure of this show next year probably.
It's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments they make, if any. But that's the other thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's working. I do wish that it wasn't like a 2-week straight kind of thing, and that's only because it's framed as a summer house show where we get the weekends up and then you get this like the city back and forth. Somebody did comment on our thing and say it's really not that difficult to get from Mass to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, so if they're living in Boston, it's really not that difficult.
So, I don't know. It's going to be
probably
interesting.
about the same, honestly, driving from the city to Hamptons.
I'd be curious to know. But we get Phil with the boys, and he's doing his best, I guess, to apologize, and he blames it on tequila.
Well, first off, he said tequila that I brought was really expensive, and I wanted to look cool.
Yes.
By drinking too much of it?
Yeah, I
didn't really understand that. But
you could look cool by bringing expensive tequila, I guess.
Sure.
But are you cool for
then getting blackout drunk,
being a
after
dick,
drinking it, and then getting into fights with people, and then saying that you don't remember the things that you said,
and then pooping in everyone's bathroom?
Yeah, none of that makes
not
sense.
Cool.
Nope.
I'm not cool, but I don't think that's cool.
Nope.
Yeah, but they seem to be okay with it. Like, I think it was more of a like, whatever, dude. Like, yeah, we're good.
Right.
Amir keeps trying to like give his 2 cents in the thing.
He's trying to get his rocks off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to look like the tough guy again, because last year he stood up to Phil and had this whole thing, being the smaller guy in the group a lot. Like, I took things personally when people bullied me, so I always stand up to bullies. I have no issue with that. If you want to be that guy, at least you're consistent with it. In this moment, I was like, hey, just you squashed it.
It doesn't really matter if Phil's apologizing to you. Just move on. Yeah.
Yeah. The apology doesn't mean shit. You don't have to stand there and be like, you're going to respect my boys.
This was directly after he got cucked by his girlfriend.
That's true. So now he's trying to uncuck himself. Yeah. He's trying to get uncucked by standing up to Phil.
I think so.
Look,
he can't go after Natalie, so he goes after Phil.
Yeah, maybe, but
God forbid they see a chink in the armor. We're so strong, babe, right?
babe, look at me.
No,
babe?
We literally want all of you to just leave. Go away.
Dude, oh my God. But
Couples weekend.
Woo! They get back home. If your dog's going to make a mess every time you leave, don't leave him unattended in a bedroom.
Why is that? Yeah, put the dog in a crate.
Put the dog in a crate. Go do your business, come home, take the dog out. It's not fair to the dog. You're leaving, and also, for that matter, if you are going to leave your dog who is not trained to stay home alone in a bedroom, make sure there's nothing within distance that he can chew on.
I will say he made a little bit less of a mess this time than he did last time.
Cool. That's just
progress?
No.
Come on.
That's luck.
A little bit of progress.
I cannot stand for the poor training of dogs on these shows. I cannot stand for it. And especially Milo, because I like Milo. He's a sweet little pup.
Yeah.
So don't paint him in a bad light because he's making him. It's not his fault. But now here I am, damning Milo for making a mess again.
Good point.
I just can't. Bravo dogs need to be studied. It needs to be studied. I'm serious. I'm so glad this.
You know what?
Actually,
no. I think I understand why Milo's throwing a fit. He wants
mad.
to go to the club.
Oh, that's true.
It's a club dog, man.
Or you know what?
You guys out partying without me? Come on.
I like this idea better. When they leave, it's like, have you seen The Secret Life of Pets?
Yeah.
It's a Secret Life of Pets scenario. All the dogs in the vineyard come and party in Milo's room.
Oh, okay.
And then he's like, oh, fuck, they're coming back. Everybody out. So it's a mess. And then he acts like he chewed on things to get away with it, but actually he was partying.
Yeah, but now I'm mad at Bravo because they have a camera in there, and if there's footage of that and they're not showing it to us,
that's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, we need to lobby against Bravo.
Dog party.
Yeah, show us the dog party.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's more interesting than Amir and his girlfriend.
No, I don't. I disagree. I firmly disagree. But they're getting prepped for the Freaknik party, and Simon's outfit. This is why I love Simon. Dude understood the assignment. Looks fucking ridiculous, but great. Everyone's outfit. Everyone does such a great job for this party. I was thrilled with
Nick, most of all, I felt.
Nick looks
Nick was incredible.
Like he looks awesome.
I love it when people commit to the theme party. Look, like theme parties aren't my favorite thing in the world, but if you're going to go to a theme party, you better commit to it.
Absolutely. And they all did. They really went all out. I really appreciated the outfits. I thought the whole cast looked phenomenal. So bravo, guys, no pun intended. While they're getting ready, of course, they're having fun. Like the vibes are immaculate downstairs. Everyone's vibing.
Not to mention, you just came from a cocktail party and you were drinking beforehand.
Yeah.
You drink beforehand, you go to the cocktail party, you're a little lit, you're getting ready for a big party that night. You're having a great time. You're yelling. You're shouting over the music.
The pregame, after the pregame. So like you said, you get the pregame at the cocktail, then you get the pregame while getting ready. Sometimes that's the most fun because you're still drinking a little bit. You're not getting rowdy, but you're drinking a little bit. You're like, oh man, this night's going to be sick. You're cheersing your boys or your girls, whoever you're getting ready with. You're just getting pumped. You're pumping each other up.
Pump it up.
Let's get ready to party.
Pump it up.
We go to Amir and Natalie's room. He's putting her nails on for her. And you hear the girls downstairs simply having fun. They're just having a good time, which is the point of a Freaknik party. They're having fun. Natalie's like, can't be a part of that. Then go home. What are you doing there? You're at a summer house party.
She's there to spy on her boyfriend to see what he's doing.
1,000%.
And he's too afraid to leave the room. Yeah, you're helping her with her nails. That's great. You're a good boyfriend.
Yeah, nice.
Good job, dude.
It's nice.
She's done with the nails. You're still waiting for her. She told you can go downstairs. That was, and look, I know that there's toxic relationships out there where some people are like, oh yeah, go have fun, and they don't mean it. This is one of them. Go have fun. You don't have to stay in the room with me. She would stay in the room the whole time. She'd probably call him and say, you have to come back upstairs.
You left me alone.
You left me alone. I don't know what to do. I don't like what I'm doing anymore. I don't want to hang out with these people. Then he has to go back upstairs and deal with that. Walk her down so that she's not alone. Like, it's just not a good environment for you to be in. Otherwise, why are you here?
I don't know. But the number one, I guess you can call it an outfit. I don't know. Look, let's call it a look. The number one look of the night is Nick.
Yeah.
Nick comes out, tatted up, head to toe. Everybody likes it.
Yep.
I did too. It's like, damn, he looks good. Like, Shanice loves it.
Oh, she was all about it.
Shanice is a problem right now because Shanice, the first thing she says to him is, that makes me wet. I was like, whoa.
All right, yeah.
Whoa. All right. It ramps up from there because knowing that he has a girlfriend is then announcing to the party, I'm fucking Nick tonight. It's like, hey,
no,
don't do that because you're putting him in a really
do love
bad
that.
spot.
Like, if we just look at that as Shanice was at least attracted to Nick in that look, as soon as Nick starts talking, she's like, oh yeah, that's Nick.
Yeah,
Never
there's
mind.
Nick again. Oh man, bummer.
He's talking about the fucking U.S. Open again.
But we get to learn about the history of a Freaknik party, which I'm glad. And I was going to Google it after the show because I wanted to learn about it. Jordan walks us through it. I guess back in 1983 on a college campus in Atlanta, the college students that couldn't vacation down in like Daytona Beach or things like that wanted to still have a party and celebrate. So they got together at the picnic grounds on campus and threw a Freaknik party where it was celebrating music, culture, outfits, fashion, all that stuff. I want to go to a Freaknik party. This looked like such a good time. I really thought it looked like a fucking
Think you have
blast.
the outfit for that?
I don't know. I would definitely need help.
Jeans and boots aren't going to cut it.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
your fit.
I could go jorts.
No, stop with you don't know.
No?
No, stop trying to throw jorts into everything you
Oh,
do.
no, I will always advocate for jorts. Jorts are
Sure.
always a good
Not for the
option.
Freaknik.
And I have to give Noelle a ton of credit. Like, a ton of credit, because this is a veteran move. There's to-go containers. She goes to the food, and you get food for later. That is such an important move, especially if there's good food. You stash that shit in your room, because at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, when you are hammered and you get back and forget, that's the best part when you do that, because you forget, and then you go back to your room, you're like, oh my God, thank you, sober me, because this looks amazing. And you get to eat in your room. Then you feel horrible the next morning and you look at all the trash and feel even worse about yourself. But in the moment...
But you're probably going to feel better than you did if you didn't eat the food.
Good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point. But I don't think I've ever woken up after a drunk night, like surrounded by Taco Bell wrappers and been like, I'm killing it.
I'm crushing life.
I'm doing well right now.
You feel like you're crushing life?
Oh boy, let's not do that right now. That's a different summer house. But we get to the hot tub, and this is where we find out that Natalie and Amir are living together. And I think that if you're reading between the lines, as we like to do here, when you look at the future of what their relationship is going to be, what's on the horizon for you guys? You moved in after 2 months. What's next? Her response is, we're starting our career together. He just joined my team. I'm super excited to get him in the mix and see how things go. Amir, an engagement probably soon. Probably like now. I told her like
Probably
I might do
tomorrow.
it this weekend.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't have an outfit. So like, bro.
No, neither of them. What the fuck is her response? Talking about your careers? Talking
Yeah.
about working together?
She's talking about jobs.
You
You're
should be
about
talking. We're
engagement.
talking about your relationship, and you start talking about work, which, by the way, an hour ago you already put down as work.
You said,
So, are you excited to have him on your team?
I don't know.
If he's not good at his job,
I think that I don't. Whoa. She didn't say he's not good at his job.
she insinuated that he's not.
She
good at his job.
insinuates that she's better at the job and that he's just a little cuck that sells houses to the middle
The
class.
common folk.
Yeah. While she's off like selling yachts or something.
Sure,
I would love to get the breakdown.
but like that's not the response when somebody says, "What's next in your relationship?"
Not career.
Nope.
Not career. Not we're excited to get working together.
Yeah,
and then
no.
on the flip side, your boyfriend's like, I want to get married. That's two very different responses.
Very different perspectives.
But they go to play Never Have I Ever, and I fucking knew it. And of course, as soon as they start, Amir's out. Oh, gotta get out.
Yep.
Like, we can't play this game.
Come on, Natalie, we can't do
Yeah,
this.
Natalie, we can't. We got to get out of here now because I can't even be here when they ask a question because then Natalie's going to be like, have you done that? And he's going to be like, no.
To be fair, I feel like because the rest of the house feels this way about Natalie, they would maybe purposefully
More than
put
likely.
him in a hot seat
That would have been great.
or put her in the hot seat.
That would have been a
And
fun
then
scene.
I would have liked that.
Me
but
too.
he dodges the bullet.
Me?
Probably a smart move.
Yeah, it was. No, he definitely played it right by getting
Not
out
good
of
for
there.
the TV show because I would have loved to have seen it,
Same.
but smart for Amir to dodge that
For
bullet.
his life,
Yeah.
that was a smart move
For
because
his life of his balls.
she would have cut them off.
Yep.
She says that.
Right there in the hot tub.
Yeah, oh God. But while this game's going on, Bria says an innocuous comment in response to somebody else. And Summer takes it personally. I don't even remember what it was. Like, oh, she's scared or something like
Yep.
that. And Summer gets very upset. And she's like, I'm not scared of anybody, and blah, 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 starts going after her. It's like, whoa.
It all started off because Noelle didn't understand how the game worked.
Oh, right. And then
She starts off by saying, "Never have I ever sucked a dick."
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
you haven't? She's like, yeah, I have. It's like,
That's not the case. It's supposed to be something that you don't know. And then Summer gets involved because we're going over the rules, which is always so funny. And this happens in real life too. This happens at every party. When somebody's playing a game, there's always, even if it's Never Have I Ever, there's always one or two people that just don't get the rules.
not how you play.
And then you have the over-explainer explain how the rules go, and everybody's kind of talking over them. So yeah,
And then they get
this
frustrated because like, guys, I'm just trying to tell them how to play a game.
this is a million times over a million how many times it goes, and it's just funny to watch that somebody else was doing it for once. Summer was very confused.
She was very confused, very drunk. That's very important to point out.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to what happens after this. Back to the over-explaining thing. What's the number one game? I know it in my head. What's the number one game that causes the most discrepancies on how it's played?
Kings
Yep.
or Pong,
Pong, yeah, because everyone has their own like house rules where it's
fucking dumbass rules.
like no bounces here or like
My
redemption
ball hit
cup.
that cup and then went in there, so it's two cups.
two
Well,
cups.
actually, dumbass, you shouldn't get any cups because you missed the first one that you were aiming at.
Correct. We play gentleman rules
Yeah.
when we play. And I still play. I just drink water.
Yep.
But gentleman rules always win because just play the game how it's supposed to be played.
Mhm.
If you make a cup, pull it. If you bounce it, it's two. Redemption, ball back, behind the back. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Moving on. You can kind of see the night starting to take a different turn because of Summer. She's in the house and she's at that point now where I'm calling full blackout. I believe this might be a full blackout moment. And now she's walking around the house. Everything that can irritate her, she's bringing it up. Like Alex is, I'm not even sure what he's doing. Is he using the kitchen sink to brush his teeth or something? Or
Seems
maybe
like
wash, oh, you know what? Maybe he's washing off the tattoos.
Could have been. I don't know if Alex had tattoos on.
He did. He had a spray.
Did he have it
Was
on?
that
Okay.
neck one actually a real one? Because it was music
I think the
notes.
neck one's real,
Oh, okay.
but I think he did have something else that he was
I
doing.
think
Yeah,
that he had the airbrush tattoos
Yeah.
on. So I think he was
not
just
the problem, but yeah.
No, not at all. I think he's just washing off his tattoos, and she's like, "Why are you doing that here? We have like 5 bathrooms now." Like she's just picking fights now because she's sad. And
Yeah.
I think that this all goes back. That's why I called it out the beginning of this episode. This is all going back to everything going on in her life. She has a lot of shit going on, and I respect that. And people deal with it in their own way. And she's not handling it great, But I think that the root of that is what she admitted. Like, I'm not good at asking people for help because I feel like I'm burdening them. And I think that a lot of people can relate to that. So I'm,
Yeah, but and I get that, and I feel bad for Summer in that moment. But when she goes on to start talking about how she's empathizing with somebody like Jordan, she's empathizing with a couple of her other friends in the house. They should be able to know that she's going through shit even when she's not saying it.
yeah, but it's not their job to pull it out of her necessarily.
It's not their job
And
to pull it out of her,
also,
but it is their job to notice when she's down
I
and
think
say,
that-
"Are you good?"
I think
And
that
maybe don't put a blanket on and hide in a fucking cabinet when she's fighting with somebody.
I agree with that. I think that other people could be more aware
Yeah.
in trying to help her out. But
I think because of the whole
that
Alex of it all, they're like kind of like
quite possibly that could be giving them a sour taste in their
Yeah.
mouth. But I think that also it's like, again, with how she handles confrontation thus far, because she gets so defensive, because she has so much going on and she's not processing it great. I think that people are afraid to broach the topic because they're like, every time something goes on, even when you have, let's say, when she was being supportive of Jordan, right? When Jordan was going through it with her hair,
right.
Summer went in there to try to comfort her, all of that. Then later uses that almost as ammo. She's like, well, I was there supporting her and she's not even going to support me. I think that because of how she's handled certain situations, people are afraid that if they try to help,
Yeah.
it
But
may cause more confrontation.
I think with the Jordan of it all, and I'm kind of annoyed with Jordan just because they are friends.
Yeah.
Summer and Jordan are friends. We've talked about this pretty much the whole season. They got really close after last season. I didn't really have an issue with the fact that Summer was bringing that out because that's how Summer feels. Summer feels alone
Fair.
right now because she's going through shit. And when people gang up on her, nobody's there to help her.
That's fair.
And Jordan should be there to help her because you're friends. And Jordan's just not doing that. She's avoiding and hiding and then turning it back on her. I think the problem is, for whatever reason, they're not going to help her. Think about Shanice. When they went through that whole thing where somebody said that Shanice dressed the worst in the house.
Right. Okay.
4 girls went up there to check on Shanice.
You're right.
That was a ridiculous thing to get pissed off about and go cry in a bathroom about. But you were drunk.
I don't think it's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
It's not.
And it wasn't even meant to be malicious. It was just she took it the wrong way and
Oh,
she ran upstairs and
but
cried.
there you go.
But
The way
no
that
one has
Summer
done that with
said it-
Summer.
But again, take it back to the root of the Shanice thing. And I agree. Look, it didn't need to get to that level, maybe. But
Yeah.
if she's also, that had more to do with what was going on in her life. And
Mhm.
then that comment reminded her of different things. It wasn't just about the outfit, right? It was underlying issues. But again, how Summer addressed that, she's not coming off great this season because she's dealing with so much shit. I think that she's abrasive when she says that comment
Mm-hmm.
about Shanice's outfits. It's like, whoa, weird shot to take. Like, you didn't have to do that.
Didn't have to, but
So I think that you're correct. I'm not saying you're wrong in that the other women in the house or the dudes in the house, just her friends, could be doing a better job of, hey, what's up? Like, we're here. And you're right. If you look at how they handle other problems in the house, people are very quick to be supportive. And that's something that we like about this group is their emotional intelligence. Even the way that Summer breaks down what she's going through, she makes it very clear. There's no real question mark. She's very aware, like, I have this going on and this going on. It's
Yeah.
causing me to do this, this, and this.
yeah.
It's very emotionally intelligent. So I agree with you. There should be more support for her, but I think that how she's handled situations thus far, how she started some confrontations in the house, are turning people off to the idea of trying to be
That's
there.
probable, yeah.
So I think that maybe it's part of that. And that's pretty much what we see in this last scene where it's, all the girls in the room. And at this point, full blackout again. I think that
Yeah.
she's going to take anything she hears negatively, even when they're not talking about her. Like Noelle's laughing about the wig. Summer thinks it's about her. She gets pissed and leaves the room. Noelle tries to go after her. She's not hearing it. It all just explodes. And I think that at that point of the night, it's like, you guys need to shut it down. Summer, we need to try to get her to bed and reconvene in the morning and try it. Hopefully that's what comes from this. Hopefully it's not, let's all turn our back on Summer because she lost her shit last night. Hopefully it's, hey guys, that was weird. Summer's clearly going through some stuff. Let's rally tomorrow and try to get to the bottom of it and show her that, hey, you are supported in this house. And hey, are you my favorite all the time? No. And that's me personally. And also a lot of people in the house, I would assume.
Yeah.
But you're our friend. You're part of this house. This house is very good at rallying behind their friends, as we see with Phil and the dudes when they get behind each other's back. Not behind each other, when they have each other's back. So yeah, I hope that that's what comes from it. I don't know if that's what's going to come from it. But here's what I really hope happens, and this would be ideal for me. Natalie does some stupid shit, and all the girls rally together because Natalie sucks.
I don't know if that's going to happen. It's such a weird dynamic with the girls, and that's what I was talking about earlier, where even when they are friends, somebody could do one thing and then they kind of break the team apart and go somewhere else.
Mhm.
So we see a lot of that, and we don't see that with the dudes enough, but we see that with the girls a lot, and it kind of drives me a little crazy because you get somebody in that moment where Summer's obviously very drunk and freaking out. Noelle, being a good friend, chases her down, trying to calm her down. Jordan puts the blanket on and goes and hides in a cabinet. Like, no, that's your friend. You know, she's clearly screaming and running through the house. Maybe just see what's up because you're not involved. You know, you're not going to walk over there and catch a stray. You're going to walk over there and try to calm her down. Maybe figure it out.
You might catch a stray, but
You might catch a stray,
she's
but you know
blackout
what?
drunk.
Deal with it. Yeah. I have a problem with somebody like Bria who seems to always pop off on everybody whenever the fuck she feels like it because they have to walk on eggshells around her.
Yes.
Sitting there laying in bed smiling because Summer's going off on a tangent. And she's like, I'm not going to get involved in that. Or somebody like Shanice who's friends with Summer doing the same thing. Go and try to calm her down. Don't hide in your room and laugh about it and then slam the door shut when you hear her coming back up. Try to deal with it.
Yeah, you're making the situation way
Yeah.
worse, and like Bria's trying to hide behind the like, oh, it's not a big deal, whatever. Like this smirking as she's going through it, that you know that's
the
going to set
problem.
her off, man. Like you know exactly what that's going to do, and you don't have to do that.
'Cause God forbid anybody did that to Bria. She would lose her
Dude.
shit. She'd grab her dog and she'd try to leave.
She would tell Simon to book flights back to Germany. We're getting the hell out of here, and then Simon would go in the hot tub and not listen to her,
Correct.
which would be a funny scene.
Jack Harlow.
He does look like Jack Harlow. But yeah, I mean that's the episode for the most part. And like I said, this is a great season of TV. They're on day 9 of 15 to keep everybody updated.
Gotta keep the tracker.
I like that they keep the tracker. I need the tracker.
Yeah, I need the tracker
I
at
need
all
the tracker, and I need more Truth Booth. Why have it if we're not going to use it?
It's a good question.
Maybe at the end of the season, they're just going to give us like a compilation of Truth Booths.
Sort of like a blooper reel.
Yeah.
It's at the end. Yeah, I could do that.
A bloop booth?
Or they're going to save it all for the reunion and break it out at the reunion, and we're going to get the Truth Booth then.
If they do that, I would like that, but I still...
No way they're going to do that. We're
if
we're
you're gonna
smarter than these
have it,
people.
dude, incorporate it into the show.
I know, I agree.
It's
What's
a
the
great
point of doing
idea. It's a great idea. Use it.
I agree. I got it. This is a funny question just because this person doesn't know Phil's name. Jazane said, would you have accepted the toilet shitter's apology? I can't remember his name.
I would have done the same thing the guys did. I've been like, yeah, whatever, dude.
Well, you know what the thing was? Nick started off with the I don't have time for this. And Amir was trying to go back at him. And I get you haven't seen him since last year, but is it fucking worth it? Not really. You just kind of accept the apology and move on.
That's what I'm saying. I would have said, like, yeah, dude, we're good. Like, I wouldn't have given it that much effort. I wouldn't have really believed him either. I'd just been like, yeah, cool. Like, this happened a year ago.
Pancakes 3.
Pancakes.
Should Mariah be allowed back in the house due to the fact that Summer's behavior is being accepted?
Look, I mean, if you want to say that, I guess technically Summer pushed Noelle, but again, it was kind of like and then she shoves her, and then she goes, yeah, I pushed Noelle. You happy now?
Yeah. No, I don't see any problem with that because they are actually friends.
Yeah, and
There's no issue there, and we know that Summer's going through stuff. We didn't know if Mariah was going through anything, and for all we know, she wasn't going through anything. She was just starting shit, and she actually put her hands on somebody, so no.
Yeah, I think they're different situations.
Yeah, I think so too. Claire Archibald said, what are your thoughts on the state of Amir's relationship right now? Over under on it lasting.
It's going to last longer than it should because of Amir. He's going to push for it to be a good relationship. If his post on Instagram isn't an indicator of that, I don't know what will. Will it go the distance? I hope not, for his sake.
I would certainly hope not, yeah.
But I guess we'll see.
And one last one here from Badonkadonk. What did you think of Alex's Watch What Happens Live where he defended himself in regards to fuckboy allegations? Did you watch any of that?
No,
I saw
I
some
didn't.
clips.
I didn't, but I can hear it.
You can hear it, exactly.
Yeah.
And what you're thinking is exactly what he did, where he's just, talking about his spirituality and, where he is in life and everything else. Like,
Every fuckboy has the same defense.
Yeah.
It's either a spiritual thing, they're going through something, or that's just who they are.
yeah, he was in complete denial of it, but
It's always the misunderstood approach.
yeah, exactly. So I don't really think anything much of that, but that's all I got. You got anything?
I got one more thing. Our live show is in a few days. But by the time you're hearing this, it's in 2 days.
Yep.
One day, because this is probably going to come out Thursday because VPR comes out tomorrow.
There you go.
So it's tomorrow. If you haven't gotten a ticket yet, buy a ticket. Come down to D.C. If you're already living in D.C., you definitely should have a ticket. But we got Candace Dillard, Chris Bassett, Ryan Bailey, Steele Russell, and the one and only Goots McShoots.
Goots McShoots.
Oh, fuck. I should have saved that one for an intro. That was
Goots
a good
McShoots.
one. Goots McShoots is solid. I'll bring it back. But go get your tickets. Link is in the bio. And other than that, Rob Bros are out of here.
See ya.